Long before men carved drums from trees or called upon spirits with fire and song, Mother Earth bore two sons to balance the skies and the seasons. The first was Ọkeọma, meaning the strength of rain in Igbo. The second was Nnaji, meaning child of time. They were brothers, yet as different as storm and silence. Ọkeọma towered like a baobab, with shoulders broad as storm clouds. His skin gleamed obsidian dark, streaked with silver lines that shone whenever lightning split the sky. His hair was thick and locked, coiled like rivers of thunder, and his eyes glowed with the restless blue of the coming rain. Ọkeọma's laugh was thunder itself. He was fierce, straightforward, and carried a staff carved from Iroko wood, crowned with a gourd that never emptied of storm water. With each strike of the staff, he could summon downpours or gentle showers, feeding the fields or flooding kingdoms. He was loved by farmers, feared by warriors, and honored in every festival that begged for harvest. Nnaji was slender, almost fragile in form, but his presence bent the silence of the world. His skin was pale bronze, his face narrow, with sharp cheekbones and eyes black as a starless midnight. Where Ọkeọma's body carried storms, Nnaji's body carried stillness. His hair was braided with cowrie shells that clicked like the ticking of unseen clocks. Around his neck hung a circular pendant of carved stone, a dial whose markings shifted each time it was gazed upon. Nnaji spoke little, and when he did, his words carried weight, for he saw not only what was, but what would be. He could slow the breath of a warrior, fasten the steps of a gazelle, or even steal the years of a king. While Ọkeọma was loved, Nnaji was feared. People whispered prayers to him but dared not call his name loudly, for who wished to draw the eye of time itself? Ọkeọma loved his brother deeply, though he never understood his ways. He would clap Nnaji on the back and roar with joy, dragging him to feasts, though Nnaji would only watch in silence. Nnaji, though colder in heart, protected Ọkeọma more than he admitted. When storms threatened to drown the world, Nnaji would slow the rains, tuning their fall like strings of a kora. He knew that without balance, Ọkeọma's passion would destroy the earth, and yet jealousy brewed. For where Ọkeọma was celebrated with song and dance, Nnaji was remembered only in whispers, a shadow in the corner of every shrine. One season, when the earth was parched and farmers cried for rain, Ọkeọma struck his staff upon the ground, but no storm came. He struck again and again until the staff cracked. Nnaji appeared beside him, silent as dusk, and said only, "Brother, it is not yet the hour." But Ọkeọma's pride was wounded. "I am rain. I am the lifeblood of men. Who are you to chain me, timekeeper?" Nnaji's eyes burned with cold fire. "Without me, you would drown them all. You pour, but I measure. You roar, but I decide when the world will listen." And so their quarrel shook the heavens. Rain and time clashed, and the sky tore open in storm and silence. Crops withered, floods rose, and the people cried to Mother Earth to end her son's war. The judgment of Mother Earth. Mother Earth rose from the soil, her voice deeper than mountains. "My sons, you are halves of one truth. Rain without time is ruin. Time without rain is dust. You shall walk the world not as lords above men, but as gods who must earn their worship." She bound them both. Ọkeọma must answer the prayers of men, but only when Nnaji turned the dial of seasons. Nnaji must guide the flow of years, but only if Ọkeọma's rains gave life to what the future held. Thus, the rainmaker and the time-tuner became eternal brothers, locked in bond, locked in rivalry, shaping Africa's seasons with their love and their quarrels. The brothers roamed the land in their early wanderings, seeking to know the hearts of men. Their feet pressed through savannas, rainforests, and highland mists, leaving trails of water and whispers of time. One evening, they entered the sacred groves of Arachukwu, where the priests of the Ibini Ukpabi oracle trembled at their arrival. For a terror stalked those lands, a leopard that knew no death. Spears splintered upon its hide, hunters returned limbless, and the villagers dared not leave their compounds after dusk. Ọkeọma, eager as always, laughed with thunder on his lips. "Brother, tonight we feast on leopard meat." Nnaji, calm and sharp, touched the shifting dial at his neck. "Do not mistake haste for victory. This beast walks outside the thread of years. It is not bound by the same flow as men." When night fell, the leopard came, vast as a house, its eyes burning red, its roar shaking the grove. Ọkeọma struck his staff, summoning a torrent of rain that blinded the beast. He lunged, wrestling with the creature, his obsidian skin flashing silver under lightning. But the leopard did not die. Wounds closed as quickly as they were made, as though time itself refused to wound it. It was Nnaji who stepped forward, his cowrie braided hair clattering softly. He turned the dial on his pendant, slowing the creature's breath, trapping it in a moment stretched like cloth. Its roar became a long, breaking note, its movement heavy as stone. "Strike now, brother," Nnaji said. Ọkeọma raised his staff and brought down the storm. Thunder shattered the trees, and the immortal leopard lay still at last, swallowed by flood and time alike. The priests fell to the earth, their voices trembling. "You are gods, walkers beyond men." But Nnaji only whispered, "No, we are sons of earth as bound as you, though our chains are greater." Their fame spread, and kings began to call upon them. One such king, Ọkeọma of the western hills, sent word of a kingdom cursed. Its seasons were broken. The rains fell in harvest, the dry winds blew in planting time, and famine crept like a thief. Ọkeọma and Nnaji journeyed there, passing through lands where even the baobabs leaned withered and cracked. The king fell at their feet, offering ivory, kola nuts, and 100 goats. "Restore the rhythm of the land," he begged. Ọkeọma raised his staff, eager to answer, but Nnaji placed a hand upon it. "No, this land is not cursed by nature. It is chained by a man." They followed the thread of years into the mountains where a sorcerer dwelt, an exile who had stolen a shard of Nnaji's dial long ago. With it, he had bound the seasons to his own breath. When he laughed, rains fell. When he slept, the dry winds came. Ọkeọma charged, but the sorcerer bent time itself around him, hurling him back again and again. Nnaji closed his eyes, feeling the shards pull. "Brother," he murmured, "I cannot fight what I have made, you must." So Ọkeọma, thinking not of power but of love for the land, slammed his staff upon the mountain. Rain fell not as flood but as soft healing. It washed the shard from the sorcerer's chest where Nnaji's hand reclaimed it. The seasons breathed again and the land flourished. But as the brothers walked away, Ọkeọma muttered, "Why do men praise me for rain but fear you for time?" And Nnaji replied, voice cold but true, "Because they see rain fall. They never see the years I take from them." One dusk they came upon the banks of the Niger, where a woman wept, her body shining with scales beneath the moonlight. She was no mortal, but a daughter of the river chained by loneliness. "I will marry the man who can outlast my sorrow," she said, her voice like ripples. Ọkeọma, ever bold, declared, "Then I shall flood your grief with laughter and rain." He danced upon the river, his laughter rolling like storms, his storms painting the waters with lightning. For a moment the woman smiled, but her sorrow was older than floods. Nnaji stepped forward, quiet as dusk. He touched her hand and the river stilled. He slowed the beat of her heart, stretched her moment of joy until it became a season, then a lifetime. Her tears ceased. She kissed his cheek and whispered, "Timekeeper, you do not heal sorrow. You only hide it." And she vanished beneath the waves, leaving both brothers in silence. Through battles, curses, and kingdoms the brothers walked, one bringing storms, the other bending years. They loved and quarreled, fought and forgave, for such is the bond of gods born of the earth. Wherever the thunder rolls, Ọkeọma's laughter still echoes. Wherever the seasons turn, Nnaji's shadow lies unseen. And the griots sing still. Two brothers walk Africa's heart, one in storm, the other in silence.